What made you end a friendship? Story 1. A lack of reciprocity. I'm definitely someone who is understanding of people's busy schedules and responsibilities, and I don't expect my friendships to be 50-50 at all times. But when I start to notice that there really wouldn't be much of a friendship if I weren't the one making all the effort, I back away. Story 2. I finally realized I was thought of at best as a sidekick, but was mainly an audience. Story 3. Toxicity and narcissistic behavior. I realized they'd bring people around them, including myself, down to make themselves feel better. Sometimes their nastiness was disguised in snide comments and jokes. Everyone had to walk on eggshells around them and lie to them to avoid a blow-up or conflict. Anytime I'd bring up their behavior or ask why I get picked on, I'd get the shitty excuse, "We are close, so I'm comfortable joking around with you." Friends and I started realizing that when they're not around, the dynamic was so much better and everyone was more relaxed. Eventually, I'd seriously had enough and snapped, started setting boundaries and calling them out on shit behavior. They stopped hanging around me, and I'm much happier. I no longer have a black hole sucking all the positivity out of my life. Story 4. I gave one of my best friends a job at my convenience store when he was down on his luck. He worked in his dad's shop previously for like $6.50 an hour, and his dad was toxic, so he quit and came to work for me till Jay got a better job. The inferiority complex kicked in, and he started talking down to me and talking about how I was spoiled and a daddy's boy. My dad gave me the shop. I paid him the best money he ever made, and he would routinely go off on me for perceived managerial issues, or start stupid arguments with customers, like not selling kids' toy guns because they would be at risk, and not selling cigarettes or beer to pregnant women, which I understand is a personal choice, but as a business, I can't just refuse to sell people shit they're allowed to buy legally. COVID hit, and he became a huge anti-masker, and I finally fired him after a huge blowout about me trying to establish a mask policy. He's a Marine now and got married to a girl he knew for 2 weeks. We still talk, but I've never trusted him since. It sucks because I think he was just like me, but from a worse situation. If I was in his shoes, maybe I would be way worse. Story 5. Being a compulsive liar for years over stupid little things. Just got tired of it. Story 6. I got tired of always being the one to put forth any effort. Fly across the world to meet up, attend family gatherings, reach out, be patient, make sacrifice. It was good times when we were together. So it was worth it for a while, but when she moved close and still never bothered to make an effort, I was over it. Wish her nothing but the best. Story 7. I decided to stop being the first one to text call, and we haven't talked since then. Story 8. I had a very close friend who kept telling me how my GF at that time is amazing and gorgeous. I was okay with that, since I just assumed he was happy for me. Turns out he was stalking her, and I think he had a hand in us breaking up. The moment we broke up, he kept hitting on her and kept asking her for a date. I didn't know about it till she went out once with him, clicked a photo with him, then told him to fuck off and should be ashamed of what he did to his friend. She sent me the photo and the texts from him. She told me I'm a good guy and I should know what my friend was doing behind my back. Of course, me and that guy never spoke again, and I'm never going to fix things with him. Been 12 years or so since that happened. Story 9. She kept casting me and all her other friends aside each time she got into a relationship with a man. When I was honest and told her that she probably should rethink being with someone who cheated on her 5 times, drained her bank account, and couldn't hold a job for more than 3 months, she completely turned on me and tried to bash me to everyone she knew. Story 10. He became one of the cool kids and stopped talking to me. Fast forward many years later, I went into a bar looking for him. He had been spreading rumors about me and my family, and he cried in front of his friends, begging me not to punch him for old time's sake. He got kicked out of his group and left town. I don't think he's ever coming back. Story 11. My best friend suddenly cut me off because she had a fallout with our other best friend. We were 3 and inseparable. I cried and sent 1,000 messages. Tried to contact her in many ways, but she didn't buzz. After a few years, she contacted and said sorry for everything, She had no answer for all that mental stress she gave me. Anyways, I blocked her everywhere. Got my closure. Story 12. Well, he started to ghost me, so I stopped contacting him. Then, one time I was alone at the bar and he was there with some friends for drinks. He warmly welcomed me and insisted on inviting me over. Later, we had a moment of honesty, and I told him what happened. He said, "Jojo doesn't like you. Every time I want to invite you, she winces." Then I discovered that Jojo, his fiancée, had a thing for me, and he was simply eliminating a threat. So yeah, F that guy. Story 13, friend of 13 years. Unfortunately, for him, I started going out with his sister, even though he apparently wasn't over his own self-admitted crush on me from years prior. He tried desperately, but covertly, to break us up. First poisoning his whole family against me with accusations of abuse and what have you, hoping that that would make my girlfriend break up with me. And when that didn't work, he tried twisting things so that suddenly I was the victim and she was the abusive one. After my money, what money? Lol, telling lies about me and making up her background of abuse to spite her innocent and supposedly bewildered family, hoping that I'd break up with her, which also didn't work. I haven't talked to him in 4 years, but I'm currently celebrating 8 years with his sister. Story 14. I had been single for most of our friendship, many years. Then, at age 29, I was in a serious relationship. She didn't like that. I could feel the jealousy in her inability to be happy for me when good things would happen in my life in other areas as well. The straw that broke the camel's back was when she somehow broke into my Gmail account and sent an email, pretending to be me, telling my boyfriend's, now husband's, family that I was cheating on him. I wasn't. She had a really good sense of humor, and we did laugh a lot more than any other friend. But once the trust was gone, and her true colors were out there for me to see, I couldn't unsee it. There's a lesson in this for all of us. Pay attention to how your friends respond when something good happens in your life. Are they genuinely happy for you? Do they ask questions and show interest about it? Or do they flatly say, "Oh, that's cool," and move on to another subject? Does their happiness for you feel fake? Do you find yourself not telling them when good things happen to you? Story 15. Told our whole friend group she was starting the euthanasia process. She ruined our Christmas party with telling this terrible news. Everyone cried, and her response, "You shouldn't cry so much about it." Her ex was also at the party, same friend group, and he just walked out and called his parents crying about the situation. She said he was being overly dramatic on the situation. He took a whole week of at work to process this information because he felt like it was his fault because he broke up with her. A few months later, she got a new boyfriend. My partner and I were meeting her and him up for dinner. I asked him the question, how does it make you feel to be in a relationship with someone who is in a euthanasia process? It got very silent, and he looked really confused. She just started laughing. Guys, no, I never started that, just talked about the topic with my psych. It was never a real option. And I am fine now, I have a new BF. That really broke me. It made me go no contact. I still see her occasionally on parties because of mutual friends, but they almost all know she lied about it.